guys, it's Megan. Welcome back to a vlog. We're going to vlog the process of reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. So this could be a month-long vlog. I don't know. I'm not going to show you like my daily life stuff anymore because that's just boring and like who cares? Yes, I have a cute baby, but like do you really need to see him? Let me know down below if you want to see him more. But for right now, I think I'm just going to update you every now and then on my thoughts. So here's the goal. Obviously, this book has been really popular, right? And clearly everybody reads it at the beginning of the year because it's good for New Year's resolutions. It's called An Easy and Proven Way to Build Good Habits and Break Bad Ones. I have one incredibly bad habit, and we're going to do an experiment in this video to see if this book can help me to break it. That's honestly the main reason I'm reading this book. So I feel like this is really weird to even have to share this with the internet. Not that many people are going to watch this video, but I pick at my fingers. Like not my fingernails, but the skin on the sides of my fingers. And it's gotten to the point that, well, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I even had a fingernail issue at one point because of it that took, I don't know, 4 or 5 months to finally get back to normal. So I would like to fix that problem. Basically, when I was younger, I bit at my fingernails a lot and like in elementary school, and I started painting my fingernails so that then I couldn't bite at them because I didn't want to eat the paint. So solved that problem. But then I was like, well, if I can't pick at my fingernails, I guess I'm going to pick at my fingers. So I start picking at my fingers. So usually my thumbs are the worst. Sometimes the other fingers too, but they're pretty bad right now. So I don't really want to show you because I'm always embarrassed. My husband has tried over and over and over to get me different ways to try to stop picking at my fingers. But this has been going on for at least probably 25 years. That tells you how old I am because I started this sometime in my childhood. But I would say, yeah, probably at least 25 years of this. So can I ever stop a habit that I've done for 25 years or at least 20 years? I don't know. But this book is hopefully going to show me how. Tiny changes, remarkable results. If it gives me other habits, I mean, that's great too. Like if I can think of new ones I want to develop. But maybe as I go, I'll come up with other ones. But at the beginning, he tells us what an atomic habit is. Let's see. He says atomic is an extremely small amount of a thing, the single irreducible unit of a larger system, the source of immense energy or power. And then a habit is a routine or practice performed regularly, an automatic response to a specific situation. So I guess he's saying that, yeah, change small things and like big things will change also, I guess. So that's what we're going to find out. Let's see what this book is like, and I will update you after I have read a little bit. I am going to try to annotate and like tab and, well, maybe not tab, I don't know. I'm going to try to make notes. It looks like, it's divided up by the fundamentals, the first law, the second law, the third law. Oh, so here are the laws. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. And I'm guessing we're going to go backwards to undo a habit if those are to get new habits, I guess. Okay, so why tiny changes make a difference. All right, well, maybe I'll read the introduction, which is about 50-ish pages, it looks like, and then I'll update you and let you know if I think it's going to work or not. I'm decently far already, like farther than I thought I was going to be for my first update. I am on page 81, and I've gotten myself into more than I bargained for originally, I think. I thought that this was a course about small habits, but it's not. It's about like literally changing things you want to do like in your entire life. And yes, it could probably apply to things like picking my fingers, but it's a lot more than that too. So like I want to be in the habit of being like a tidy person or whatever. So like bigger habits, like obviously exercise, health, things like that. So they're talking like big life changes and like how to change your entire mindset. We're going to still see if I can apply this though to my finger picking. But right now I'm on just all about like building good habits. So it's going to take a while before I get to the chapters on bad habits. So I probably won't update you again for a while. I'll wait till I get to the bad habits chapters and tell you how he says that I should get rid of my bad finger picking, which is basically just the reverse of his like way to build good habits. And then I think we'll let some time pass. So this video is actually probably gonna take a lot longer to film than I thought, because I think we should let some time pass and see if it actually works. And if I stick with the no finger picking, right now I'm doing maybe a little bit better. But basically what I gather so far is that I need to just change my entire mindset. It's not that I need to say I want to stop doing this habit. It's that I need to say like what kind of person I want to become. Like I want to become a less stressed person, because I'm assuming that I pick at it because I'm stressed. A lot of times I think it's because I'm bored too. Like when I'm just sitting reading and I'm bored and there's nothing to do. So I need to somehow become a less bored person. I don't know. But like less stressed. I need to become like a more chill person who can just relax. And so that's going to be the key, apparently, is changing kind of the mindset and like changing almost really who you are, because that's what it says you have to do to really change those habits. Okay, so I know this is really gross and terrible, but look, both my fingers are bleeding. 2 fingers are bleeding as I'm doing the laundry because I hit them where I've been picking at them. It's time to start taking this more seriously. Let's finish reading this book. Okay, guys, I did a thing. So, okay, first of all, I finished Atomic Habits. I can't remember if I've even told you that. And I've come up with a plan for trying to implement some of these suggestions because it's still going. I still picked at my finger today, even though I've already implemented these things, which means I'm going to have a punishment that I'll show you in just a minute from a jar that I made. Anyway, there are 4 ways to break a bad habit, and I printed them out. This is from his website. James Clear has all of these things online for free. This one's called the Habit Cheat Sheet. So I printed out the good habits as well, but we're going to look mostly at the bad habits today. So the first bad habit is make it invisible. Remove the cues from your bad habits, reduce exposure. So I've discovered that reading is one of the main ways that I do this, and also being in the car. Now, I'm not going to like not have reading time, so I'm going to have to make sure and put Band-Aids on when I'm reading. And also maybe when I'm just in the car because I'm like bored, I guess. Anytime I don't have anything to do with my hands, maybe I need to go back and get my fidget spinner or my fidget cube or something. Next is make it unattractive. So reframe your mindset and highlight the benefits of avoiding your bad habits. I mean, I've tried that over and over and over. It doesn't work. But my biggest thing I can think of is that in front of students, I will no longer use Band-Aids. And so like when my fingers are under the document camera at school, like they will see this. So if I just tell myself that, then I have to force myself to do that, obviously. Right now, I literally like have to change the way I hold my pencil so that you can't see it. The next is make it difficult, which is Band-Aids, knowing that some of these things that I'll have to draw from for a punishment in a minute are going to cost money. That could be a deterrent as well. That would be difficult. But Band-Aids are going to be the biggest thing in making it difficult. And then finally, make it unsatisfying, which it says get an accountability partner, ask someone to watch your behavior. So I'm going to ask my husband, we've actually already tried this before. It's not really worked, but you know, he did notice it today. He called me out on it, and that's why I have to draw from my jar in a second. Create a habit contract. So I might even ask maybe some other people like at school that I'm around all the time to see if they'll watch it. Sorry, I'm like really tired because it's the end of the day. Anyway, so those are some of my plans. I'll tell you my main plan in a second though, but my biggest concerns are, what am I going to do? Put a Band-Aid on every single finger on 10 fingers? That's going to look ridiculous. I mean, I can definitely do the thumbs. That's the main culprit, but I mean, I'll start in on the other ones. So I don't know what the deal of the plan is for that. And then nothing has ever worked before, so why would it work now? I mean, I've done this for like 30 years. No, probably not quite 30 years, probably 20. I'd say at least 20 years I've done this. So why is it going to help now? I don't know. We'll see. But what I did is I printed out his habit tracker sheet. So I'm going to track which days I pick my fingers. If I don't pick my fingers for maybe, I think I'm going to say 3 days in a row. It was going to be, I had this crazy plan where I was going to do weekly, but it's not going to work. So basically if I pick my fingers, if I don't pick my fingers for 3 days in a row, I get to draw from my jar of pleasure. These are pretty colors, cool colors, right? And every single one of these is something good. I figured out I'm motivated by food. So it's something about like getting some sort of treat that I wouldn't normally get because I'm trying to eat healthy and work out and stuff. Or I get something to buy something I wouldn't normally buy. So these things do cost money in this jar. Or I get to spend pretty much everything in here costs money. Or I get to buy something kind of frivolous. Like I get to buy a new book, or I get to just spend $20 randomly on Amazon or something. I've been wanting to buy some expensive skincare products. So I get to buy one of those. So I just have to go 3 days in a row without doing it. So far, this is the 4th of March. I know this video is taking me a long time to film. And on the first day of March, I picked up my fingers. On the second day of March, I picked up my fingers. On the third day, I did not. And the 4th day, I picked up my fingers today. So 3 out of 4 days, I did it. And I'm not doing too well on that. But I didn't start this until just now. So I didn't draw a punishment for the first 2 days. But speaking of punishments, my jar of pain. So I've got warm colors in here, and I'm gonna have to draw right now from this jar because I picked up my fingers today. Oh, by the way, it has to be that I can't just have picked randomly at my fingers. So like if I accidentally unconsciously do it and catch myself and stop, I'm gonna give myself the benefit of the doubt for now. Later I might even do it if it's like unconscious or subconscious or whatever. But right now,
like sometimes I literally notice I'm doing it and I'm like, ooh, but this feels good. I'm going to keep going. And I consciously decide to keep going. So if I consciously decide to keep going, that is when I get a punishment. And I have to draw a punishment every day. I need to add some more punishments to the jar that are not as bad because most of these are bad. I'll tell you some of the ones in the jar. Read a historical fiction novel. Read a book over oh my gosh, my eye's twitching thinking about it. Read a book of 500 pages or more. Let my husband, oh my gosh, it's twitching again. Every time I talk about a bad thing, it twitches. It did this earlier, oh my gosh. Let my husband pick a novel for me. Let my husband pick an anime that I have to watch with him. Or at least the first episode of an anime. So a lot of it obviously is reading. It's also like cleaning the house. I have to clean house for an hour after Ash goes to bed one night. And I really don't want to draw that tonight because I've already cleaned the house quite a bit today for like 2 hours. And I ran a 5K today, just like not as a race, but just for fun because I'm training for one. So I'm really tired and I really don't want to draw that one. And I was like, oh, I'll just put it back and redraw. And Zach's like, no, that's the whole point of this is you have to think of it as a punishment. So I purposefully continued picking at my fingernails this evening and my husband caught me at it. So now we're going to go ahead and draw. I know what colors are what too. Like I know some of the things that are on certain colors. Okay, I think they're really stirred up. Read a book over 500 pages. So I guess I'm going to read The Fall of Babel because I've been wanting to read it anyway. So this is actually probably the best one I could have gotten because honestly, it's just going to force me to read The Fall of Babel anyway. So, okay, well, it's going to go on my TBR for sure now. I mean, I'm not going to go start it right this second, but I'll have to start it really soon, I guess. I should give myself a plan as to when I have to do these. Most of these I have to do them like that day, but if it's something long-term like this, it just has to be done. I don't know. I'm going to say within like a month or something. So, cause I mean, obviously it's going to take me a long time to read a 500-page book. So it'll go on to the TBR. We will put that back in the jar because I might have to draw out of it tomorrow. But now let's just do something for fun. Let's say that for the last 3 days I had done well. What would I have drawn out of the jar of pleasure? Let's just find out, just for fun, shall we? Eat at Carrabba's. Oh, it goes back in the jar. I love Carrabba's. Oops, they have one of my favorite meals of all time ever, the eggplant. What's it called? Eggplant parmesan. Yeah. Anyway, okay, well, we're going to see if this works. I will update you here in like a week or so and see if this ridiculous plan is working at all. I now also have to do more things. I had to draw from the punishment jar 3 times. Sorry, I gotta be quiet because the baby's just not going to sleep. I had to draw from the punishment jar 3 times. I've never once yet drawn from the jar of pleasure. I don't think it's going to go very well. So basically what I've decided is if I even get through 1 day of doing well, I get to draw from the good jar. And then if I do, bad throughout the day, I have to draw from the bad jar. But I'm going to have to just use Band-Aids. That's all there is to it. I can't stop. Apparently the punishment's not bad enough. So I'm going to start doing Band-Aids. But if I do Band-Aids, I'm not going to allow myself to get something from the jar of pleasure because I feel like that would be cheating. But I just drew that I had to read a classic that I've never read before. So I looked through all my classics because I have a huge shelf down there and I picked the smallest one. It's like 100 pages and it is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I've never read this book and it's so short. In fact, is it even 100 pages? Yes, it is. There's an afterword. Let's see. Yeah, it's right at 100 pages. So I guess I'm going to read this. And then for my 500-page book, I'm not going to read The Fall of Babel. I'm going to read Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky, whatever, because I am doing that for a different vlog project too. So I figure I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Well, it's been a week or so since I've updated you. I have only drawn from the jar of pain this whole week, the whole time. I'm not doing super well. I have had to resort back to wearing Band-Aids because I cannot be trusted, even for like 10 minutes with not having Band-Aids on my fingers. Like I'll make it the whole day without picking my fingers. And at the end of the day, I've already showered. So like I'm taking the Band-Aids off and then I'll be sitting around reading and that's when I start picking at them again. I can't be trusted. I've had to draw so many things from the jar of pain. I'm reading like a classic novel that I don't want to read. But I at least picked a short one. I picked Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because it's only 100 pages. I've had to get rid of 5 articles of clothing. I now have to read a contemporary fiction that I don't want to read. So at least I've not had one like my husband chooses what I read, or I have to watch an anime with him or anything like that. But anyway, that's kind of the update. And I think I'll end this vlog on the day that I get to draw from the jar of pleasure. That seems like a good day to do so, but I literally can't be trusted. So right now I don't draw at all. Like I don't get a, reward for having to wear Band-Aids because I'm not picking at my fingers, but also I just keep picking at the Band-Aids. So I don't know if that's really teaching me anything. It's just teaching me to pick at whatever is there. So I don't know. Anyway, I really do feel like I've tried all the techniques from the book, at least in the past or now. And really so far nothing's working except to make it literally impossible to do. Like one of the 4 like little tips he gives was to make it difficult. And so if I can just make it difficult to do, maybe that'll eventually break the habit because I just won't be able to do it. I don't know. I think once they start healing too, I'll have nothing left to pick at. And as long as I don't start picking new stuff, right now it's just easy because there's stuff there to pick at anyway. Too much information. So hopefully the next time I update you will be a day I have succeeded. Who knows how long that will be from now, and I'll let you know how it goes. Well guys, this is the final update for the video. I have given up on the jar of pain. I dumped it out. I just dumped all the little prompts into the garbage, took off the sign. It's not working. It's just not working because honestly, the things in that jar were not so bad that I didn't want to do them. It still involved reading. It was like I just had to read a certain book, a nonfiction book, but it's still reading. It's still something I actively want to do, or I have to clean the house, which is something I need to do anyway. It would have to have been things that like I really actively did not want to do, like drink apple cider vinegar or something more immediate like that, or even that's just I can't read, like for 3 days in a row I can't read or something like that. And honestly, I just didn't want to do that. It was stressing me out more to think about the jar, and then I'm like picking at my fingers thinking about it. And also the other big issue was that as soon as I would start picking at my fingers and realized I was going to get a punishment, I was like, oh well, then the whole rest of the day I might as well just pick at my fingers because I got a punishment for today anyway. So it like wasn't really helping. So yesterday I just ignored it entirely and honestly picked less than ever. So I don't know what that tells us about this experiment, but I know that if I tried all of these things in combination, it would probably work better because like I said in the past, I've tried wearing Band-Aids. I've just not done it enough. I've tried having my husband, I don't know, like reach over and like just, hit my hand and be like, stop it, and like have him watch out for it. I've tried the punishment thing now. So like, I've tried I've even had bad things happen as a result of it. Like I said, I messed up my whole fingernail because of it for like months, and it had some sort of weird fungus and who knows what. Anyway, apparently none of that works. So I don't know what the solution is at this point, but I don't think the Atomic Habits book is a bad book. It just didn't really helped me because so much of the book was focused on building good habits and like big habits, like life-changing things like exercising or finding the job you want. It was more about that kind of stuff than like a little habit, which you could apply it to little habits too. But anyway, we're just gonna play it by ear. I think I'm mostly just gonna wear Band-Aids. Maybe I'll update you again, but honestly, it's been something I've done for so many years that I don't know how it's gonna not take me years to also stop. So I don't know. I'll just work on it. I don't think it's gonna be something I can stop in like a week or even a month like I originally apparently thought that I could. So that's the update. It's still a decent book. I give it 3.5 stars because there was just nothing like amazingly enlightening in it. It was all kind of just common sense and things that, like I said, I've tried all those things anyway. So anyway, that's the end of this experiment. If you want to know more updates in the future, don't know why you would, but if you do, let me know. Maybe a year from now, I'll give you an update and see if I've used any of the tips from Atomic Habits, not just for my fingers, but just like in life in general. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this very strange vlog, and I will talk to you again later. Bye.